Hello, everyone. I'm Debbie Mirza, the author of The Covert Passive-Aggressive Narcissist. And today I'm going to be talking about the discard, the third and final phase of the three classic phases of any kind of narcissist. And I'm going to explain the discard in a way that it happens with a covert narcissist. So, with covert narcissists, it's usually a long relationship that you're in with these people. And oftentimes you don't see the abuse when you're with them because it's so subtle. So the discard is basically the breakup. And it is probably the worst betrayal you will ever experience because you have seen this person in your eyes as a good person who really loves you and you really love them. And you probably thought overall it was a good relationship. Yes, you had your issues, but you didn't see it as this horrific, abusive relationship. So the discard, things, their behavior begins to change. And it happens subtly, and then it gets more aggressive. So the nice person that you're used to, the covert narcissist that you're used to, suddenly starts becoming more overt in their behavior. So it's a really confusing time because you're seeing this from a healthy person's point of view, and you're seeing this person as someone who loves you and you're in a relationship, and you have assumptions that most people do. Assumptions that you both want to work on your relationship, that, maybe this is a valley you're going through and you'll get through it. But the discard phase, they begin to become very cruel. And they begin to say things more to your face. They begin to say things behind your back that you start hearing about. They start to become another person, and it's very confusing. So all the traits that we talk about with narcissism start to be more obvious. People often talk about this like cracks in the mask. Their mask starts coming off. And it's very common actually for this to happen in middle age. With covert narcissists, it's like they can kind of cover up their darkness for a long time, and then around middle age the cracks start happening and they tend to just get worse with time. Again, everybody's different, everyone's case is different, but this is a really common thing that happens. So the discard also often happens in a place that means a lot to you, or a place that they will often break up with you or start the conversation, the really cruel conversation, in places that might mean something to you, or on a date that might mean something to you, around Christmas, around your birthday, because they sabotage dates and places that are important to you, and they know this, they're aware of this. Sometimes they'll break up with you when you're not home, because then you're not in your safe place. You're out of your element, and it's a lot harder for you to deal with this, and your head is spinning. So the discard phase when you've been with a covert narcissist it feels like the rug has been pulled out from under you, and you're so utterly confused. And when you talk to other people who go through breakups and divorce that aren't with a covert narcissist, it's just a different story. And it's really hard to grasp what is going on. And it's often during this time that people start researching and Googling words like what's going on, or confusing relationships, or, things like that. And often the discard phase is when someone says to you, your wife or your husband or your partner is acting like a narcissist, and that word starts coming up in therapy or with a friend or an attorney, that's often the times that people start wondering, because until the discard phase, nothing has really been that obvious in your relationship. But the discard phase, you feel like, who is this person? I do not recognize this person who I'm with right now. This is not who I've been with for so long. I don't understand. So it's an incredibly painful time, incredibly confusing. And when your mind is spinning and your heart is feeling all this stuff, it's so difficult, because that's when you have to make really big decisions in your life. And when they talk to you, they're not always cruel. They'll be nice, cruel, nice, cruel. It's like that intermittent reinforcement that I talked about in another video. But because of that, and because of the person that you see them to be, it's really difficult to be able to understand why they're behaving the way they are. And for many people, the discard is very quick, very harsh. One woman I talked to had been with her partner for 20 years, and it was like, boom, one day, gone. Never heard from her partner again. So it's a really, really painful time, a very confusing time. And if you're in it, I so feel with you. It's a very exhausting time. It just depletes your energy so much, emotionally, physically, and you feel very alone during this time, because unless someone's been through it, they really can't understand. As much as they care, there's no way to understand unless you've been through it yourself. So I hear you, I understand you. I know this is a difficult time, and you will get through it. I promise. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. So hang in there, trust yourself. Make sure you have a really good support team. If you don't have any friends or family that you can lean on, try and see if there's a meetup group in your area. There's a lot of meetups that are for support groups for narcissistic abuse. I actually lead one in Denver. A friend of mine, Tracy Malone, she has another YouTube channel, leads one in Boulder. So if you're in the Colorado area, please come to our group. So please don't go through this alone. There's so many people going through this, and we really need each other. So that's the discard phase. So you take care of yourself, and I will talk to you another time.